Welcome to the Wealthy Woman's Podcast, a podcast for high-achieving women who are great at making money but struggle to build wealth. You'll learn how to take control of your money, increase your net worth, and make more. Ladies, it's time to create a life with more money and more freedom. Let's dive in. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to cover a topic that I think is so important, especially as we move into a brand new year. We are going to talk about the secrets to creating a winning money plan for 2025 and beyond. Listen, almost half of Americans set New Year's resolutions, meaning that they set a goal that they'd like to achieve in the upcoming year. The problem is that most people stop there and they don't go any further. One person famously quoted this: "A goal without a plan is simply a wish." This quote highlights the importance of planning and strategy when it comes to achieving any type of goal, especially a financial goal. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to uncover 3 secrets to creating a winning money plan. So let's go ahead and dive in. Secret number 1, get support and guidance. Here's what I know for sure. I am talking to successful women who are professionals, who are business owners, who have done everything right? You've gone to college, you've climbed the ladder, you may be working in corporate America, you may be a real estate agent, you may be a professor, a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, whatever it is, you're doing your thing in your chosen profession. So I'm calling you successful because you are. I know some of you don't identify as high achieving or successful, but if you have set a goal in your career or business and you're living that dream, you're successful. And I know a lot of us got there on our own, right? We did it ourselves. We didn't come from money. Some of us didn't come from money. Some of us were the first people in our families to go to college and to get a degree and to do big things, right? So you're doing well. You're making good money and you didn't need a lot of help to get there. But I hear this all the time. This money thing is the one area where you seem to just struggle, right? You can't get it right. And that's because you're not meant to do everything by yourself. You're not meant to do everything on your own. We as humans are meant to be in community. We are meant to be guided and mentored by other people. And so with that, I have a workshop that is coming up that you are invited to. It is complimentary and I do it every year. I usually charge for it, but this year I'm trying something a little different. It's going to be completely complimentary and I would love to have you there because it's just time to stop trying to figure everything out on your own. It's just time, right? If you are in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, or 60s, and you've been trying to figure this money thing out for years, maybe decades, then it's time to try something different so that you can get a different result. So all you have to do is sign up by going to the show notes or by visiting jermainefoley.com/2025 to snag your spot. That's Jermaine with a G, Foley.com/2025. Now, here's the thing. There will not be a replay sent out, but you will have 2 dates to choose from. So you can pick a time that works for you and your schedule. The 2 dates are Sunday, December 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Monday, December 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This will be the same exact workshop, just presented 2 different times to accommodate anyone who's ready to make 2025 your wealthiest year yet. And I would love to help you make that a reality. Now, here's a tip for you, a pro tip. If you sign up, don't just stop there. Put it on your calendar. Decide that you're actually going to attend. Pretend like you have an appointment with your doctor. You have an appointment with your dentist. You have an appointment somewhere and you are intending to be there. Not only are you intending to be there, you're deciding that you're going to show up unless something drastic happens, but put it on your calendar and make that appointment. Carve out the time. You deserve it. Your money deserves it. Let's do this together. And that's the first secret, to get support and to get guidance and stop trying to figure it out on your own. If it hasn't worked yet, that means you need to do something different to get a different result. All right, let's go on to secret number 2. Secret number 2 is what Stephen Covey tells us to do in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says to begin with the end in mind. So a lot of us, when we set goals, we just set them and we just, cross our fingers and hope that it will happen. But if you really want to be effective, Stephen Covey says that we need to begin with the end in mind. I think the best way to do this is to visualize what it will feel like and what it will be like when you reach the goal. So let's say your goal is to end 2025 with no credit card debt. You want to be completely credit card debt free. So in your mind, use your imagination. Our imaginations are powerful, and a lot of times we don't use them intentionally. We use them to imagine the worst case scenarios, but let's imagine the best case scenario. Let's fast forward. It's December 31st, 2025, and you want to be completely credit card debt free. Imagine what that is going to feel like in your body. Imagine the emotions you will experience in your body when you open up your statements and they all say zero balance. You owe zero money to all of your credit cards. How will you feel? Will you feel accomplished? Will you feel relieved? Will you feel joyful? Will you feel unstoppable? Will you feel powerful? Will you feel proud? Whatever it is, imagine what that feeling is going to be. That is the first step to beginning with the end in mind. See yourself accomplishing the goal. This is important because now you have a clear vision, and having a clear vision keeps you focused and motivated. It's the difference between wandering aimlessly and walking with purpose. The second part to this is to reverse engineer your success, because this principle, beginning with the end in mind, isn't just about dreaming. It's about action. And once you know your destination, you can easily map out the steps to get there. In the workshop, I'll teach you how to break down your big goals into actionable steps so that your 2025 money plan isn't just a wish. It's actually a reality in the making. All right, so let's go on to secret number 3. Secret number 3 is to decide that 2025 will be different. So most people use their past against themselves. They look back to beat themselves up or to gather even more evidence as to why they just can't get their money together, right? Why they can't get this money thing right. But what if I told you that your past doesn't have to mean anything about what's possible for you in the future? I literally never knew this. I remember growing up and my history teacher saying that history always repeats itself. It could be some lesson they were teaching, and then they talk about something that happened in the past, and then they gave proof of it happening again in the present moment, right? And then they would say something like, history always repeats itself. Or it could even be the lessons I learned from my mother about fashion, right? I remember when bell bottoms came back in style in, I want to say like the 90s. And she used to laugh and say, we used to wear those back in my day in the 70s. History always repeats itself. And I took that to mean that it had to repeat itself, that, I'm an adult. I'm making bad choices with my money. I'm in debt. I've been struggling for a long time. History's going to keep repeating itself because it has to. But the truth is, you do not have to repeat the same things over and over again in your future. The only way that happens is if you drag the past into your future. And the way we drag the past into our future is by thinking the same thoughts, doing the same things, and being the same person, right? If you're thinking the same thoughts over and over again, doing the same things over and over again, hence being the same person over and over again, you will make history repeat itself. But it doesn't have to be that way. And all it takes is one decision to change your life. Literally just one. For me, it was when I decided that I would figure out how to build wealth without giving up everything I loved, because I knew that that was going to be unsustainable and that I would fizzle out and I would burn out and then I wouldn't be consistent with that. So I literally decided, I went on a mission to figure out how to build wealth and still live life at the same time, according to the season I was in, right? I had the goal to get out of debt. That was my first big goal. But I also wanted to do some things. I couldn't do everything I wanted, to enjoy life. I couldn't do everything because I also wanted to balance that with my financial goals, right? I could do it, but I would be sacrificing my financial goals, and I didn't want to do that. So I had to find that balance. And that's my specialty. That's what I help women do now. I help women who make good money but aren't building wealth. I help them strike that balance between building wealth and enjoying life. And during different seasons of your life, enjoying life will look different based on, like I said, the season of your life and also in relations to your financial goals. If you have some big financial goals you've decided to hit, then the enjoying life part might be just a little different than it would be if you've already hit all your financial goals and now it's time to complete some of your bucket list items, right? Because you've set yourself up to be able to do that. But even before you set yourself up to be able to do the big things, you can still be enjoying life while you're meeting your financial goals. So once I made that decision, that's when everything changed. That's going to be the same for you. You have to make a decision. So let's talk about what it means to decide, because it does mean something very specific. To decide means to cut off all other options. So let's take the goal of being credit card debt-free by the end of 2025. That means you're deciding against staying in credit card debt. That means you're deciding against going further into credit card debt. It means that you are deciding to get out of credit card debt. So you're burning the bridge to all other options. So to decide is to make a clear and intentional choice between options. And once you make that choice, you commit to a specific course of action and beliefs. So let's look at the key elements to deciding. Number one is clarity. Deciding requires that you understand your options and you weigh them thoughtfully. Again, you can stay the same, you can go further into credit card debt, or you can get out of it. Number two is commitment. Once a decision is made, it involves dedicating yourself to that chosen path. So, if you're deciding that you're going to be credit card debt free by the end of the year, that means when you have the temptation to go shopping because you had a bad day at work and that you're going to put the items on your credit card, that, my friend, is no longer an option available to you. The other piece of that could be if you have decided that, okay, this month I'm making a $500 payment on one of my cards, but you have the thought of maybe instead buying a new chair with that money. That is not the choice you're going to make, right? So again, the second part of making a decision is having commitment. And then the final piece of it is action. A true decision must lead to action, moving you closer and closer to a desired outcome. So again, if you are having a bad day at work and you're tempted to go to the mall and put some items on your credit card, you're making a different choice. And this is the work I help my clients with if you work with me in the Wealthy Woman's Academy, and we'll touch on a lot of this in the 2025 Money Planning Workshop. So again, if you want to get my help with making a plan for your money, then you want to be at that workshop. Go to jermainefoley.com/2025 to snag your spot, or simply go to the show notes. I'll leave you with this. Tony Robbins, he has a really great perspective when it comes to making a decision. He says that a real decision is measured by the fact that you've now taken new action, not the same actions you used to take. You're now taking new action. If there's no action, then you haven't truly decided. So think back to all those years where you made goals, you set financial goals. Did you take new action? Did you weigh your options carefully and choose the one that was going to move you forward and not the ones that were going to keep you the same or put you further behind? And did you commit? And then most of all, did you start taking new action? Again, I need to reiterate that because that's how you know if you truly decided you're doing something different than you used to do. And that could be joining me in the workshop. That could be the first step, just the first step. And it's not even just signing up for it. Like anybody can sign up for the workshop, but it means actually showing up. And then when you show up, you're actually present. You have no distractions. You're actually present in the moment and doing the things that we're going to do together inside of the workshop. So if you're ready, you can join me at jermainefoley.com/2025 or again in the show notes. Here's how I want to end this episode. To me, it seems like just a few minutes ago, we were getting ready to ring in the new year for 2024. And now we're on the brinks of 2025. Listen, there is so much we can accomplish in 1 year. But the truth is a year goes by fast. It's like you can get a lot done in a year, but if you're not intentional about it, the year will fly by and you will be looking like, where did it go and how am I still in the same place? Let's collectively decide as a community, as listeners of the Wealthy Woman's Podcast, that we will not let another year pass without making significant strides in our financial lives. And I would love to help you make that a reality. I hope to see you in the workshop. Bye-bye. Hey, before you go, if you're ready to create a life with more money and more freedom, then you're invited to join the Wealthy Woman's Academy, my signature coaching program where you'll learn how to take control of your money and build wealth without sacrificing your lifestyle. To get started, head on over to jermainefoley.com/WWA. That's Jermaine with a G. See you over there. Bye-bye.